You got to keep your chin up, Kay. When it feels like it's the worst, just think somebody else has it worse, okay?
A mother's words to her son after they were told they would no longer be able to stay at the Noel Lodge overnight shelter in Hutchinson.
Horrible, because now we don't have a home.
After a streak of bad luck and no job, Naomi Driesel was forced to move her family into the lodge or live on the street.
At nighttime, whenever you're tucking them in, is whenever it gets really hard because they think it's their fault.
New Beginnings operates the lodge using an $80,000 a year grant from HUD Housing, in addition to other donations. There are enough beds for 15 people to stay every night.
I rely on this place to sleep at night when they ain't got no place to go. There's a lot of people that relies on it.
New Beginnings is not able to finance this without that grant, so we had no option but just to shut it down.
The lodge has been open since May 2013 and helps those who become homeless find a job and get back on their feet.
We don't have all the solutions, but we do have some, and it does help. And we do provide a comfortable, safe surroundings for them, laundry facilities, dinner and breakfast, and mainly just a clean, comfortable place for them to stay.
But with no place to go, it's this mom's biggest fear, having no place for her children to lay their heads.
My kids know that they're loved, and although it really is hard right now, we'll be stronger for it in the end.
There's been an outpouring of support from the community since we first ran the story about the lodge closing. The people I spoke to say the lodge is a safer alternative for people who would otherwise live on park benches or under bridges in the city.
This is Hutchinson, Kansas, and I'm taking bologna sandwiches to people that are under bridges sleeping, and it breaks my heart.
John Powell is one of a handful of people in Hutchinson working to raise enough money to reopen the Noel Lodge, an overnight homeless shelter that suddenly closed after it didn't receive a federal grant.
We do great, amazing things, you know, and you go to these other facilities, a lot of times they don't offer a lot of that. It's either a cot on the floor and, you know, figure it out for the rest of the day, but they tried really hard to reach out.
The group has two goals: convince people there's a need for the homeless shelter in their community and raise enough money to cover the shelter's operating costs for 3 months.
They've kind of planned that or budgeted for around $7,000 a month. So our initial goal, the grassroots goal, was to raise $21,000 before we could reopen it. And we're very, very close to that.
Support in the community has grown so much it attracted the attention of Representative Stephen Becker.
It's certainly it's a relatively small community, Hutchinson is, but we still need to address the homeless problem that we have.
Powell understands 3 months will come and go quickly, but he says whether the lodge gets its grant back or not, the community will continue working to keep it open.
But people can still help, and we're going to have that need. If we cannot get this grant money, we're going to have that need.
Akeem Ashford brought you the story first last week as it closed. He's there live now tonight as it reopens. Akeem?
And Roger, a very exciting time for many families here in Hutchinson at the Noel Lodge. We've been following this story since the time the doors of that emergency shelter closed to today when it opened its doors just a few moments ago. There's one of the ladies there actually coming out. This place was actually full just a few seconds ago. People were lining up here waiting to get inside out of this heat into the AC since about 4:30. The lodge closed, as you may remember, June 30th after a grant failed to get here at the lodge. We talked to the director who says they had applied for the grant but did not get it. There is about $27,000 in donations from community members and activists who actually raised that money to help get this lodge back open today. That's about 3 months worth of operating costs. There are about 15 beds inside of that lodge there. They can take about 17 people with extra beds, but they told me there's about 15 people who will be able to go inside tonight. People inside will be able to get a shower. They'll be able to get a hot dinner tonight and a hot breakfast tomorrow. Now, I spoke to several people, including the director, who says this is a very, very happy time today.
It's been fantastic because the response from the public has just been unbelievable. We we decided we couldn't open the Noel unless we had at least 3 months worth of operating costs. Well, we were able to raise 4.